Welcome to Tales from the Fandom, a podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. And now your host, David Ginsburg.
Hey everybody, welcome to this latest episode of Tales from the Fandom, rounding us out for the month of January 2019. And it's a interesting thing about this episode is that it was recorded almost 1 year ago, back in February of 2018. However, the audio, we had a lot of issues with it on my end, and it took me a long time to get it together and get it properly edited and taken care of to make it as best as it can be. So I hope that when you listen to the episode, you just take that into consideration. Also, this is a not safe for work episode, and some of the opinions of my guest, Sarah, are her opinions and not so much my opinions, and there is some language involved, and I just wanted to let you know that in case it is not something that you would want to listen to. But there is a explicit warning on this episode, both in iTunes and across the platforms that use it, and I'll have it marked as well in the show notes. So enjoy this episode, and we are hopefully going to have some really great episodes in February. I've got some great guests lined up, and have a great day. And welcome to another episode of Tales from the Fandom. Today I am joined by Sarah Cowan from Sarah Serenity Magical Cosplay. And Sarah, I am so happy to have you on the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fine.
That is awesome. I think I found you through a local Facebook cosplay group, I believe.
Yes, that's right. I post my cosplay page there from time to time to help get more views.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I know a lot of the cosplayers do the like for likes or shares and follows, and it's really great to see everybody and what they are doing in the cosplay community.
It is. I will say this though, cosplay is a struggling type of business, but it's definitely something that I strive for and do my best at.
Absolutely, and we'll definitely be talking about cosplay as we get closer to the end of the episode. But I wanted to ask you, you are into a number of different fandoms, and probably the biggest one that because I follow your Facebook page and your Twitter, and the biggest one that I think you have is you love The Walking Dead.
Very much so.
Now, how did you get into The Walking Dead? Did you start off as a fan of the comic book, or did you jump on when the TV series started?
I more so jumped on when my brother introduced me to it. I know some of the actors from the show, as I have seen them in other things, such as Norman Reedus from the Boondock Saints. He was in a movie that dealt with Abraham Lincoln, I believe, and he was also in the horror movie Mimic. So when I heard about The Walking Dead, and when I heard that it's a big, big series, and it went on for a certain amount of time, I started to get into it. I know that I definitely need to catch up on it. However, my only access to it is only on Netflix because my family does not have cable.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was originally, I had read it in comic book version just for a little bit, not getting into how many issues it is now. But I was so amazed when that TV series came out, and that first season was just so amazing.
It is an amazing series, and the rumors that I've heard is that it could go on for another 10 years, but I am not so sure because I've heard that they started killing off some of the main characters, one of them being Carl.
Mm-hmm. I know that, I think it came, because we're recording this in February, and I know that the mid-season just started yesterday, so I know that was a big discussion topic, but I don't try to follow any spoilers for that show because I'm so far behind.
Oh, I'm far behind too. I still need to catch up, but as well as I catch up on that, I also write a series for my character, Darla Dixon, where she is at right now. It takes place just as the apocalypse is starting up before all hell breaks loose. And her arc is that she's actually Daryl's wife.
Okay.
And they get separated for a certain amount of years, but during that separation, she's pregnant with his daughter.
So how many chapters have you written of this?
So far I've written 23. Because of the fact, though, however, since I've been sick and I've been dealing with things at home and been busy with cosplay commissions and whatnot, I haven't been able to write a new chapter. However, it is an ongoing series, so as soon as I catch up on all of the seasons of The Walking Dead, I'm going to be writing more and more chapters. Pretty much it's going to be catching up to where it's at right now. However, until the entire 8th season is out on Netflix, I can't be sure of where the starting point for Daryl and Dara being together again is going to be at. But I will say this, though. Darla is one of the characters that does survive towards the end. Her death is going to be, like, years later after the apocalypse goes down. But apart from that, I can't be sure of where Daryl's and everyone else's story arcs end. However, I have thought about including some characters from the Telltale series, such as Lee and Clementine.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that is putting me at a writer's block is after this whole first arc is done, if I should continue it into where it's a year later or 2 years later after she gives birth to her daughter, Angel.
I have to say, it's safe to say that your favorite character is Daryl Dixon, correct?
Oh, hell yes. Oh, God. I'm not even gonna lie. I've had people tell me, like literally ask me, this is the one question I get asked the most for. And that is, if I was single, and if Norman was single, if he asked me out, what exactly would I do? My only response to that is if he would pursue. Like, with me generally, like how me and my relationship with my boyfriend, Tommy, is going, we started off as friends first, and then we gradually went into a relationship because he had feelings for me first before I fell deeply in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was single, I would gradually take things slow with Norman if he wanted to pursue that route. Because personally, the best relationships are when you start off as friends.
Oh, absolutely.
However, if I was single, and if Norman was single, the things I would do to that man, I don't know if he would handle it. Because I will lie. Every time I see a picture of his with a phrase that says "bite me," I'm like, you can bite me anytime. But then I realized that biting is my fetish. So if he did bit me in a certain way, don't be surprised if he comes out with scratch marks and hickey marks.
Now, what was the draw to The Walking Dead beyond like the actors that were in it? Is there something particular about the storyline that you like, or is it just all about the characters?
I love both the storyline and the characters itself. Like when I first got into The Walking Dead, there are so many sad moments in the storyline and the arc itself. Like, for example, when I saw the character Sophia died, it hit me hard. I was in tears, crying my eyes out. It was so sad to see Carol's only child dead, and that the only thing holding her back was Daryl, and that Rick had to be the one to pull Sophia out of her misery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each of these characters grow over time. They grow into something more that's either not themselves or a stronger version of themselves. Like, for example, when Carol first started, she was coming out of an abusive marriage she had such little strength in things. She did not have the strength to stand up for herself very much, but over time, with the friendships that she's had with Rick, with Lori, with Maggie, with Carl, and everyone, it's made her into a stronger person. Same thing for Carl, same thing for Daryl. I mean, I have not been able to catch up very much, but I have seen a few clips of where Daryl broke down because of Glenn's death, because of Beth's death. I can see that he holds his friends to himself as a family. And when you hold your friends to your heart as a family and you lose one by one, it breaks you down really, really, really hard. And I think that's the difficult journey that everyone is taking at this point, because they've had so much taken away from them. And it only depends on where you go from there. Like, for example, if someone was built to the top of the empire, and then someone took it all away, and you had to start from the very bottom of a barrel, your only options would be to come out of it, or to stay in it and bury yourself deeper. And that's where I think a lot of these characters and arcs are going. And that's one of the reasons why I love The Walking Dead. It gradually grows. It gradually intensifies. You don't know where each character is going to go in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I have such strong love for it. Like, writing the Darla Dixon series, and cosplaying as my character Darla Dixon herself, what inspired me with that character was a dream I had. I literally dreamt of the outfit before I had even designed it, before I even had a thought of it. I dreamt of the character that I cosplay as from the series that I write. And I dreamt that it got so popular and that people loved the character so much that fans were literally asking the creators of The Walking Dead if I could be featured in at least one episode. And then from there, the character popularity grew, and then I became a permanent character on the show. And that's why I'm pursuing it so hard, because I want that dream to come true so badly, so much. It would be an honor and a privilege to be able to work with the cast of The Walking Dead, and even being able to form friendships with them, because I'm a very shy person myself, because I take my work very seriously when it comes to creating characters and arcs for them, and even going as far as cosplaying them. I take it very seriously, and I take very much pride in my work, that when you're a cosplayer and you create your own OC characters and you write backgrounds for them, you tend to get criticized from some of the community. Like, for example, as I've told you before, I am also a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. That is the fandom that I have been a fan of the longest. I have been a fan of the game series since I was 10 years old. Fell in love with it right then and there, and it's been 15 years since I've loved that game, since I loved Sora and the whole character arc from it. I get criticized, and I even get death threats from some of the Kingdom Hearts community, because I am not a fan of the fandom Sokai, because to me, it's not canon. I actually pay full attention and detail to the games, to the stories behind the games, and to the stories between the characters. Especially with much recently, when I finished Dream Drop Distance, it definitely confirmed my theory about what's going to happen after Kingdom Hearts 3. But I get death threats from so many Sokai fanatics and Sokai psychos because I do not agree with the fandom. I do not support the fandom, and I never fucking will. Why? Because Kyrie is a fucking bitch, and I want to see the bitch to go fucking die. And, when you create your own character and you pair them up with a popular character, you tend to get a lot of criticism. You tend to get a lot of threats from serious fans. Like, luckily I haven't gotten any death threats yet with anyone from the Walking Dead community about my character Darla being Daryl's wife. However, I wouldn't be surprised if in the long run, if I was allowed to be on the show, and if my character became a canon character with Daryl, I wouldn't be surprised if some fans were a little bit discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
But it would broaden their horizon a bit. Like, I've gotten great reviews for Darla's story. I've told some people in conventions about my character herself. And I've gotten a lot of praise to where, oh my god, that is such a great idea. Oh my god, I want to see her become a real character. Oh my god, I would love to see you on the show. It gives me more encouragement to continue pursuing that. And that means a lot to me when I'm still starting from the bottom, and it's very hard, especially when you're coming from a community where cosplay is so popular, and that some people are so harsh with criticism that it tends to discourage and kills your confidence over time. Like, there have been times when I've thought about giving up on cosplaying simply because of the fact that I thought I would never be good enough. I thought my skills would never be good enough to draw attention. But people still encourage me to try and to not give up, so that's what keeps me going into cosplay, and that's what drives me for the Walking Dead character to be official on the show. And I'm hoping and praying that Norman Reedus shows up to MegaCon this year, because I actually want to give him a transcript of my Darla Dixon series in person, as well as a picture of me as Darla, because I really want him to be the main person to judge on if this is worthy enough to be a part of the show, and if I could have enough of the honor and privilege to even work with him, because he's a wonderful person. He's one of the bigger inspirations for my Darla Dixon character, because he takes wonderful depths to who he acts as. Whether it's from Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead, whether it's from Murphy from the Boondock Saints, he takes great deal of characters. He goes so deeply into character, and recently, I think a couple months ago, in an interview from what I read up, Norman said that after playing Daryl Dixon for so long, he's actually become a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed that he's always been a good person with a good heart. I mean, he's so good to his fans, and he's so kind. Just like Sean Patrick Flannery is great with his fans, and I've met him as well. And he was in Saw. He was also the other Boondock Saints brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he recently came out with a book called Jane 2, which I personally have a copy of. I still need to finish it as well, but it's such a great book. When I met him, I was so scared to. I started crying. My friend literally had to pick me up and bring me over to his booth like as if I was a piece of cardboard. And he said that was so beautiful and so sweet that on the last day of the con, when I went to his booth again to finally get an autograph, his manager literally pointed out to me and said, "Oh yeah, you were the nervous one. And just so you know, out of everyone he's met the entire weekend, you were the one who was the most nervous." And I'm just sitting there blushing. I'm just like, I'm hoping that's a good thing. Because I was crying. When I meet someone that really touches my heart so deeply and inspires me and I look up to, I cry. And so when I went up to him, I'm like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me from the other day." He starts singing Little Red Riding Hood because I'm dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood. And then he pulls out the song from YouTube and he keeps singing it, and I about fainted on my friends. But he loved me so much, he gave me a hug and a kiss on the forehead, and it truly meant a lot. it truly means a lot to have like people like Norman, Sean, or the cast from Scream, or Jim Cummings, or Rob Paulson, people like that who actually take in consideration for their fans, actually show that they care about their fans and that they care about other people and their feelings towards them. Those are the people I look up to. Those are the people that inspire me through cosplays and stuff. Like, you're not famous because of what you do. You're famous because of the fans that continue to root for you. It's because of the fans that your popularity goes up rather than how much you get paid. And that's what I think some cosplay malls and celebrities forget about. Like, for example, I'm not a fan of Yaya Han, personally. I think she's very two-faced and fake. But, if she were to show me herself that she could be kind, then yeah. But I've seen myself in person that she could be very two-faced and very much a bitch. And I can't stand people who are famous that are like that. Like, again, she's a great cosplayer. She also promotes patterns that she makes and stuff. Well, that's one thing. But if you think that you're famous because you have, I have big tits and a big butt and great hair, and I could do all of this, then your ego is going to make fans run out the door, and you're not going to be as popular anymore. So, the reason why I'm striving so hard to be Darla Dixon on the show is because I want to prove 2 points. 2 big points. That it's because of the fans that a person can be famous, and it's because of the fans that you strive for your dream. That's 1 point. And for 2, that a person can start from the bottom and get to the top the right way through hard work, through putting yourself out there, and for just striving for something that may seem impossible, but have a lot of faith in.
Absolutely. Now, as far as Walking Dead goes, before we jump over to Kingdom Hearts, where do you see the show ending? Do you see it just ending, like, without an answer? Do you see it ending with, okay, zombies are all done? Or do you see it some other way for it to end?
I cannot say for sure right now unless I can actually catch up. But I do believe eventually that the zombies are going to stop. Because eventually the zombies are going to starve and they're going to die off one by one. However, if possible, if I do become a part of the show, then I can definitely tell you where in my series that I've been writing, and this is a big, big spoiler for anyone who has read them, but this is the biggest spoiler because I've already figured out how to end my series when I take it further. Basically, the zombies are going to die off. Some of the main characters are going to be passed on. Where my character ends up is, and sadly, I'm going to have to change it up because I thought Carl would have lived on to the end. But now I know I got to cut that part out. But basically, my character is going to eventually die of cancer just when the world is starting to rebuild himself and when Angel, her and Daryl's daughter, is older. And when she passes on, not only is she going to wake up being young again, but she's going to be reunited with everyone that has already passed on, like Carl, like Sophia, and it's going to be like where you actually see some of the characters have grown and some of the other characters have grown older, but then she's going to be reunited with Daryl, and it's going to be where it's kind of like a stand-in point where you know that it's sad that these bigger characters are gone, these characters that you hold close to your heart are gone, but you know that they're in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Where they no longer have to feel the suffering of the world ending anymore, and the world is gradually rebuilding itself with a new generation that was raised stronger and have been through the harder times.
Absolutely. Now, since you mentioned Kingdom Hearts already, I imagine you started off with Kingdom Hearts back on the original Kingdom Hearts 1 when it first came out.
Yes, I did. I fell in love with Kingdom Hearts the moment I saw the first commercial back in 2001. Oh my god. I still remember falling in love with Sora right then and there on the TV screen before me and my brother could even get a PS2. And I remember during those next 2 months, me and my brother were literally begging and begging and begging and begging for my parents to get us a PS2 and Kingdom Hearts for Christmas. Then, ironically, we were able to get it. However, we also had to get a memory card the next day because we didn't realize that your save progress has to be on that card.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, at first I didn't start playing Kingdom Hearts myself until I was 13. I had to watch my brother play it for a good number of years, and then I started playing it, and then I gradually was so happy to play it, be able to play as Sora and spend time with the character. However, luckily, since now I have a PS4, I can skip all those cutscenes to deal with fucking Kairi. I'm sorry, I hate that character. I've hated her since I was 10 years old. That character, I just want to die. She is like the, to me, Kairi is like the Beth of the Walking Dead series. Very useless, very annoying, and can literally get irritating on everyone else's nerves. Tries to act tough, but she's actually a damsel in distress that is looking for a good lay. At least that's my opinion.
Okay. So who do you like in Kingdom Hearts? Who is your favorite character?
I actually have two favorite characters. When it comes to males, my favorite character of all time will forever be Sora. When it comes to females, my favorite character will always and forever be Tifa. I love Tifa Lockhart. I am at her height, I am at her cup size, and I cosplay as her from Kingdom Hearts 2 when she's in her Advent Children outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one character that I definitely believe deserves a Keyblade after her. Like, I know Leon has one, I know Cloud has one, I know Sephiroth has one, but I believe Tifa deserves one wholeheartedly. And my favorite, personally, is when Sora is just finding out how strong Tifa is, and he's just literally in shock. And that's one of the pairings that I usually write about as well. I usually write stories about my OC with Sora, and I also write about Tifa with Sora as well. One pairing, though, I will say, and I do wholeheartedly believe is canon, without a doubt, is Riku and Kairi. When you play all the games, if you especially pay attention in the final mix on the PS4, there are scenes that were not included in the actual games on the PS2. You find out more about how Riku feels about Sora and Kairi, and you see that he was worried about Kairi the most. He gradually sacrificed more for Kairi the most. Yes, Sora does save Kairi, but the thing is, it's kind of his job. He has to save all princesses of heart. So, that is his childhood friend, yes. That is his best friend, yes. But, however, after playing Dream Drop Distance, after playing all of 2.8, I've come to realize that after Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora is going to become the new villain. Tetsuya Nomura already even announced that Sora is going to die or become the new villain. So, for anyone to think that Sora and Kairi are going to be together in the end, that's false. That's purely false. Because originally, when they first brought out Kingdom Hearts 1, Riku was going to be the main character. However, at the time, because they felt that he was too mature, they brought in Sora instead. So once Sora becomes the new body for Xehanort, that's gonna be a new arc storyline, and Riku is gonna be the new hero for everyone to play as.
Awesome. Which Kingdom Hearts game is your favorite so far of what's been released?
I would have to say, like, it's a tie between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dream Drop Distance, but if I had to pick, in all honesty, I would have to say Dream Drop Distance, because I do get to see scenes with Sora in his outfit from Kingdom Hearts 2, because I think that's my favorite one of his. But it's because it goes more in depth to both what's going to lead up to Kingdom Hearts 3. You find out more about who fails, who is going to be the new Keyblade Master, and you actually come to realize that the fate of Terra and the fate of Sora is going to be similar.
Mm-hmm.
And, in Birth by Sleep, Terra fails, Aqua passes, but then in Dream Drop Distance, Sora's the one that fails, and Riku is the one that passes. You come to find out that the organization, the whole point of the organization is that Xehanort is looking for a new body. The 13 members of the organization were supposed to be new vessels for Xehanort. However, only 2 of them come out on top, and that is Zigbar and Sayax, and Sora is going to be the 13th vessel for him, which is why he fails, because when you also look at the trailers for the new Kingdom Hearts 3 game,
mm-hmm.
In one of the trailers, you hear Xemnas say to Sora, "Are you ready to go back into darkness to save Roxas?" And in Dream Drop Distance, when you play as Sora through the Notre Dame world, when you see Vanitas, the one that looks like Sora but an evil version, you hear him say, "Your heart is a prison for other hearts." So the whole point of Kingdom Hearts 3 is for Sora to bring back Roxas, Xion, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. After that, the only person that's going to be left in Sora's heart is Vanitas. Once that happens, he's going to become a new vessel for Xehanort.
And this is why there are many Wikipedia entries about Kingdom Hearts trying to piece everything together.
Yes, but the thing is, some people are so hyped up on the whole, like, Sokai fandom that they're not willing to see the truth. And the truth is that Sora is not going to be with Kairi. Sora is going to become the new villain. And Riku, more than likely, will be the one that ends up with Kairi. Because what people want to see is, Sora and Riku decking it out like in a final battle. That's what people have been waiting on. But they want to see Riku become the new hero and for Sora to become the new villain. Like, people have been waiting for Sora to become the new villain, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me, I'd rather Sora become the new villain than to end up with Kairi, because, I mean, sorry, but the girl is fucking useless. She is so fucking annoying. Especially when she tries to swing a Keyblade around like a tennis racket. She's a fucking idiot.
Oh my goodness. Now, we have Kingdom Hearts 3 coming up. And who knows if they're ever going to do any more, because it takes forever for them to do a Kingdom Hearts game. So I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Now, one of the other fandoms that you're into is one that I've never really been a part of. I've never watched it. I've never played any video games on it, and that is like one of the most legendary like anime series ever is Dragon Ball Z, or is it just Dragon Ball at this point?
It's Dragon Ball Z.
And how did you get into Dragon Ball Z? Was that again early childhood, early youngness?
Yeah. Basically when Toonami was still very popular and when it was still coming on to Cartoon Network before everyone changed the whole fuckery around.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was the one that actually got me into Dragon Ball Z when I was 8 years old, and this was before Kingdom Hearts, 2 years prior, before Kingdom Hearts. And at first I didn't understand it, but I loved it. The truth is, the first anime that I had encountered, if you can count it as that, was Sailor Moon when I was 5. But I got more into anime after watching Dragon Ball Z. And gradually over on, I would sometimes sneak up in the middle of the night to watch Adult Swim, to watch Inuyasha, Detective Kohan's Case Closed, Big O, stuff like that. But Dragon Ball Z was always a tradition that me and my brother always had. We rooted for the good guys. We did not like the bad guys. It was pretty much a really good childhood thing that me and my brother both had. And even though they also do the abridged series, the original Dragon Ball Z characters will always be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually met the guy who does the English voice of Goku, Sean Schimmel. I met him a couple of years ago, and he even said that I should take up on voice acting because of my voice and the fact that I could pull it off so well. I did an impression for him as Tara Strong's Bubbles and Harley Quinn, and he said I could literally fill in Tara Strong's position if possible.
That's awesome. How did you, what is it about Dragon Ball Z that you got interested about? Like, is it, again, story, characters, the action, the fights that take, a million episodes to finish?
For me, it was gradually a mix of the characters and the story, but mostly the characters. Like, my two favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z are Goku and Android 18. Mm-hmm. Goku, he's always putting everyone before himself, which is what I also do in real life. When it comes to like money or anything else, I always put others before myself. It's just as I've gotten older, I need to focus on my life and try to do things my way to fix my own life. But I still care about my family, I still care about my friends, and I still want to help them. Goku, he wants to help everyone before himself. He may not have, like, the highest intellect, but he is the strongest fighter in the universe. He loves his family, he loves his friends, and when someone harms them, he'll go nuts. And I am the exact same way. Android 18, she has that whole, like, mysterious bad girl vibe about her, but she is won over by Krillin, who is not the very least admired character. I like Krillin. I think he's a very funny character. But what I like is that the small guy, the little guy that everyone looks down on, is actually able to help save the universe because the android falls in love with him. She becomes human, and they end up being married and having a daughter together. Mm-hmm. So never doubt the little guy when he actually has a bigger advantage over the taller person.
I love when smaller characters can overcome, odds that are really stacked against them, and then they just succeed where you don't think that they're going to.
Yep.
And I think isn't there like a new Dragon Ball series that's out right now?
Yes, Dragon Ball Super. I've been meaning to watch it. It's just I also want the English dub to come out at some point. That way it's not as confusing. Like, don't get me wrong, some animes I'll watch Japanese dub on, but just Dragon Ball Z, I've been so used to watching it in English that watching it in Japanese is a bit weird for me.
Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. If somebody was going to get into Dragon Ball, where would you tell them to start to get into the series?
If they want to, very much get seriously into the series, I would tell them to watch the prior series before Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, because that's where it really begins. You actually see Goku's journey from when he's a toddler all the way up as an adult, and then get into Dragon Ball Z. However, if they just want to just watch Dragon Ball Z, then they could just watch Dragon Ball Z. And if their curiosity gets more so from there, then they could just do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know it's hard, especially with anime. It's like, well, where do I start? Do I start at episode 1, or do I find the new series? It's very confusing sometimes.
With Dragon Ball Z, I would say start during the Frieza saga.
Gotcha. I've heard that's a very good one to go with.
It's always a good one to start with.
Very cool. I will have to check it out, because at some point I'm going to have to go back and check out some of these animes that I've missed out on over the years. Now, lastly, as you've mentioned a few times throughout the episode, you're into cosplay. How did you get interested in being a cosplayer?
It all starts with the first time I went to a convention, or I heard about convention existed. I was 14 years old, and this was literally a month before I started high school, my first year of high school. And I was told that there was a convention going on here in Orlando called Anime Festival of Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the fact that these people could cosplay anything that they wanted, from anything. I saw a Sora cosplayer, and believe it or not, I actually met one of the Power Rangers there for the first time, and I met Jason David Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And I just gradually fell in love with it. However, at the time, I couldn't afford a cosplay yet. So I started dressing up as Misa Amane from Death Note, because that was the only thing I could really pull off until my family could afford a Tifa Lockhart cosplay when I was 18.
Right.
And then a couple years ago, 2014, when I started at OTEC in downtown Orlando, I started sewing classes that way, because I could only sew by hand, but I wanted to make my own cosplays and get into the cosplay business even more so. Gradually, I was able to make my cosmic dress. I was able to make my Sarah Serenity OC cosplay. And then, even after graduating, even though I don't have all the tools necessary for making cosplays, I was still able to make and pull off my Darla Dixon cosplay, because it's an apocalypse. It's not like the fashion world exists anymore.
Exactly.
One thing that I definitely want to achieve in, definitely if possible, is, well, 3 things. 3 big things. One of them I've already discussed. I would love to be on the Walking Dead show and have my character be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also would love for my OC from Kingdom Hearts to be a part of the Kingdom Hearts universe. Because I love Kingdom Hearts. That's the game series I hold on to so badly, so much so that me and my boyfriend plan on getting married, and he's going to dress up as Sora while I dress up as a bridal version of my OC.
Gotcha.
And that means a lot, because I've always wanted to be inside Kingdom Hearts, even when I was a little girl. I've always wanted to be in the world of Kingdom Hearts, always wanted to be by Sora's side. So even if I can't be a part of it, I would like for my OC to be a part of it. So that way, there's a piece of me, a piece of my heart inside the game itself. And then the last thing I want to be able to do is be a cosplay model all around the world. because I want to make it a point that even though I'm autistic, like, I have autism, I have Asperger's, I have ADHD, pervasive developmental disorder, an anxiety disorder, a panic disorder, and I suffered from PTSD and suicidal tendencies. I want to make it clear that no matter where you came from, no matter how broken of a person you may be, you have every right to be a model, to be an actress, to be a voice actress, to be whatever you want to be, and that you have every right to go for your goals and to achieve your dreams.
Absolutely. So one of the questions I always ask people who are cosplayers on the podcast is, when you're choosing characters to cosplay, is it based on your love of the character? Is it based on the outfit that they wear, or is it like a mixture of both for you?
Well, it's not just a mix. It's not just because of the mixture of both. It's also if I can relate to the character, if I can actually feel that I can be the character, if I can act like the character, if I can literally see myself as that character. One of the characters that one of the people have been wanting me to do is the I don't know her name, but it's this from this anime called, I think it's called Dragon Maid, and it's the one with the rainbow hair and the antlers and the big tits. I feel like I could pull that character off, but if I wanted to go by the three things that I strongly agree with, the outfit, the character, and the personality, and if I can see myself as that character, I would definitely say characters like Tifa Lockhart, Misa Amane, Kagome, Higurashi, Rei from High School of the Dead, Toka from Tokyo Ghoul. Characters like that I could see myself be.
Gotcha. Now, for cosplay, as far as the characters that you've done so far, do you have a favorite that you've done?
Apart from my two OCs, my personal favorite will always and forever be the one that I actually started fully cosplaying with, and that's Tifa. Because that is who I try my best to look more like as, and who I try to be more strongly as. Because she's such a strong-willed person. Like, it's not even just about her physical strength, it's about her inner strength, her beauty, how she is protective of everyone, and no matter how strong of a person is, she will go whatever it takes to fight for the people she cares for.
Yeah, Tifa is one of those awesome characters, and I know I loved her when I played Final Fantasy VII way back in the day.
Yep.
Beyond the cosplay, I know that you mentioned your writing. Is your writing anywhere that people can check out, or like on a certain website or your Facebook page?
Yes. When it comes to the Darla Dixon series, you can find all the chapters on my cosplay page on Facebook when you search Sarah Serenity Magical Cosplay. As for my other OC series with Sarah Serenity from Kingdom Hearts, she's also part of a horror series called Kyrie Eats Hearts. Yes, I did the impossible. I made a horror series about Kyrie because I hate that bitch so much. I wanted her to go into a psychotic spree that I wanted Kyrie to just eat like other girls' hearts because she still felt like she lost hers, and she has a love obsession over Riku, so she ends up in a psych ward. But, there's Kyrie Eats Hearts, there's my Tifa X Sora series, that it's been actually about a year since I last wrote a chapter on. I need to catch up with that. But you can find these with KEH, you can find a page called Tifa and Sora Forever, and with mine, you can just look up my cosplay page to read the Darla Dixon series.
Okay, awesome. So I know, your Facebook page is Sarah, let me pull it up because I just lost it. Sarah Serenity Magical Cosplay. Beyond the Facebook page, are you anywhere else for social media or any channels or anything of that nature?
On Instagram, I am Sarah Serenity 117. On Twitter, I am Sarah Serenity Cosplay. And on YouTube, I am Sarah Misatifa 117.
Awesome. And I'll make sure I have links to all of those in our show notes for everybody that's listening. Do you have anything else that you want to put out there for people that are listening, that maybe you feel like you haven't mentioned or that you want to just get out there for people to know about you?
I just want to say that if given the chance, if I am given at least one shot of being on The Walking Dead, I'm definitely going to give it my all. And normally people ask me, well, if you do end up on The Walking Dead or in Kingdom Hearts or whatever, what are you going to do with your first paycheck? Well, depending on how much it is, I'm getting my family out of debt. I'm making sure we're no longer struggling, making sure that we can actually do more than just get by and survive, that we can actually live a happy life. Getting my boyfriend the dental surgery so that way his life can be spared from all the times that he's been sick, from all the times that he's been suffering such great amount of pain in his mouth and his gums. So that way he can actually be happier and he can be healthier. And then whatever I can do, whatever I can give, I plan on giving at least 10,000 to the Autism Awareness Society for autistic children, because I know how it feels to be bullied. I know how it feels to be picked on and abused and hurt to the point of where you feel like shattered glass every single day. And I want to make it to where no one should ever be judged in the autistic community again. That everyone with a mental disorder are equal and that they are normal people. It doesn't matter if you have a mental disability or not. It's your heart that's what matters more. Not how you look on the outside, not if you come from a rich or poor family. If you are able to do your best and that you give it all the strength from your heart and that you're a good person, that is what should count more. And to anyone out there who feels like you shouldn't cosplay because of your weight, because of your race, or because of your skill level or your age, cosplay is for everyone. It's not a Victoria's Secret beauty contest. It shouldn't matter how much you pay for a cosplay or how much you get it made. Even if you're just starting out in a schoolgirl uniform or in a kimono like I did, cosplay community is welcome to everyone. It should belong to everyone, and it should not be a judgmental society. You should be welcome to cosplay whoever you want. I've seen black girls cosplay as Mavis from Transylvania, and I've seen white girls cosplay as Michonne, and I praise them for that, because they're doing it out of the love for the character, not because of the race or gender. And when you live in such fear of a world like real life, where everyone is so judgmental on your looks or your weight or your age or anything, it makes it so hard for anyone to cosplay or to have that courage to cosplay. And I'm basically asking for anyone who has that fear to let it go. Let your pain of real life go, and when you go to a con, be free. Be free to who you want to be. Be free to cosplay whoever you want to be. Like, if you're fat, be a big, beautiful Wonder Woman. If you're skinny, you want to be a Rose Quartz from Steven Universe, be Rose. If you are small and yet you want to be Loki, be Loki. If you're tall and if you want to be Edward Elric, be Edward Elric. Don't let people's words and harsh criticism about how you are, how you look, stop you from cosplaying. And if they are listening into this podcast, I want to give a big shout out to Sean Patrick Flannery for always being so nice and kind, and your book is so amazing, and I hope to see you at MegaCon at some point. And yes, you will be looking for me as Red Riding Hood. And Norma Reedus, I believe that you are a good person with a great big heart, and I do hope I get to meet you one day, and I hope you can get to know me for the real me, and I get to know you for the real you, and I do hope I get the privilege of working with you, or at least having a shot of working with you. Into the cast of The Walking Dead, into the cast of Kingdom Hearts, and as well as Dragon Ball Z, I think you guys are all wonderful and really amazing, aspiring actors, and I hope you continue to be good to your fans and good to people, as well as good to yourselves in general.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to record with me, and hopefully I have given you a good time for recording a podcast episode, and that, you know, things just continue to get better for, you know, people following you and finding your page and seeing what you are all about.
Thank you so much, and I'm hoping that with this, not only it helps you, but it helps me too.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.